fighter could knock anybody out. You know, any fighter believe they can knock somebody out. I mean, they just gonna have to go in there and prove it. I'm pretty sure, you know, some of these fighters who don't get knockouts think they go in there could get a knockout. So.
Now, I just, it's flaws. It's certain style mistakes, Not saying that it's easy to knock him out. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we stepping up to the challenge to knock him out. You got to challenge yourself. If you don't challenge yourself,
they don't know nothing about that.
Then it's not going to be fun. It's going to be, it's going to feel like work. So our challenge for us is to put him to sleep. We put him to sleep where the stretcher got to take him out. You know what the news going to be saying tomorrow and things like that. It's a whole different life overnight. So, yeah, we stepping up to the challenge. We love this. Yo, they be hating on me on some real shit. None of them say, yo, you're a good manager, good promoter. You get your son on some shit. Coming from the gutter, like hustling mix CDs out the trunk. Y'all was doing that with boxing, and you got your son on some shit. People don't give me that respect. I guess they got to wait till I pass. Then they'll say, yo, then they'll be like, yo, he was a great manager, great boxer promoter. But they don't see it that view. But yeah, we on one of the biggest cards again, like we keep doing. And it is what it is, doing my job. But we love it.
Then you gotta remember, Farmer, when he got stopped by Pedraza, I believe he was 22. So like he was like early in his career.
Right.
So we ain't looking at that because he's gotten way better from that point. So
and way more experience from that point and bigger since that point. So you can't look at none of those.
And I believe Pedraza was in his prime at that time. So, he just overwhelmed me.
Like, this could be the end for Farmer. Or a big beginning.
Ain't gonna be no beginning of shit because he gonna be beginning of a hospital bill. But besides that, you never know. Bernard Hopkins, look how long he boxed.
That's true.
So we can't say even if Farmer take another loss, his next fight, he might bounce back and really get a good run. So I'm not gonna cast no spell on him and say that won't happen to him. But I know he ain't beating us.
I ain't gonna lie, what I'm planning to do.
I know he ain't beating us. Oh hell nah.
He ain't gonna want to fight after what I'm planning to do. So
this deal has happened.
Now
ain't no friends to after the fight.
Ain't to after the fight. Even him. I mean, right now you gotta tune into wanting to hurt this person. So it ain't no friends at this point. This your enemy because anything can happen with any punch. That could change your life in any type of way. So no, it ain't no friends now. It's enemies now. It's in that ring, it's enemies. It's war.
Then after the fight, then we could go back. He could be big bro and stuff. So, yeah, but until then, nah, I ain't even shaking no hands or nothing.
When this fight was presented to you guys, tell me what was the conversation look like with you and Oscar?
They basically just sent me an email said, "Hey, do you want to fight Tevin?" He said yes immediately. Like, yeah, of course. And that was it. And then I spoke to Tevin on the phone, and me and Tevin, like, we just talked about a number and this, and things went where it had to go.
Got it done.
And it got done.
A lot of people were saying when Tevin Farmer and Cepeda were fighting that was kind of like a gear up, a measurement to what he could look like fighting Shakur Stevenson. Is that something similar to what's happening here with you guys?
It ain't nothing about that. It's just about, like I said, me, getting this fight. I haven't fought since November. Just making myself proud. So that's all it really is for. If people want to look at it like, a measuring tool, that's on them. But like I said, I'm just going in there to do my job, take my son to Disney. So,
but on the business side of it, that is exactly what's being done. See, it's always two sides because he's always the business, the boxing, but it's also business. But yeah, once he do what he got to do to Farmer, then he could also be lined up for Cepeda fight. They're not setting us up for that They might be to get ready for a Tank Davis or something. I never looked at it from that aspect, but they could be.
That was a good point, Nip.
Yeah, that's a good point. They could be doing the Tevin to see what we'll do against another Southpaw that's in line.
Like I said, I ain't worried about that.
Because they told us we're fighting for a world title soon, so they could be. I didn't thank you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
We look at Tevin now, right? He's probably has like 8 losses now. But he's been getting himself into like great fights. A lot of people thought he even beat Morataya as well. What's the best fight that you have seen Tevin Farmer perform that you are hoping that, the better version of that, or even are you expecting the best version of Tevin Farmer?
Number one, I'm a fan of Tevin Farmers. That's why me and him became friends anyway. In a sense, I have a lot of respect for him as a boxer from day one when he was challenging Tank Davis to a fight. When so I've been a fan since way back then. So just to pick a fight, that would be underplaying him. I like his boxing skills. I like his story. You know, um, so it just he make flaws. He don't have a big pedigree as an amateur. So me being a boxing coach since he was a baby, I know the flaws he had because he never learned the basics. So the basics is what's going to be Tevin Farmer. The basics that he never learned, that foundation. And most of the people he fought, they didn't understand the 5 styles of boxing. They didn't understand his 3 zone going real low, how he ducked, but they don't know that that's also a flaw. And I ain't gonna say what punch will hurt that. But if you was an amateur, you understand what he's doing is a flaw and what punches is gonna catch him. So he don't have that pedigree that kid has. Having hundreds of fights as an amateur to prepare for a professional. He don't have that foundation. And that's what's gonna get to him.
Kid, how did Jake Paul leaving you that message saying that you're gonna be showing up on June 28th in the comments section?
It was like, oh, you done made it and all this other stuff. I was like, bro, but it was cool. Jake acknowledging it. It'll be good to meet him